Welcome to the world of Victorian poetry. Today we shall be discussing Robert Browning and his poem Prospice. Robert Browning is a very significant voice from Victorian poetry. He was born on May 7th, 1812 in Camberwell, London, England. And he is widely known for his dramatic monologues. Robert Browning married Elizabeth Barrett Browning, a prominent poet herself. Robert Browning is known for his complex and nuanced exploration of human psyche. Sometimes we say that when we look at Browning, we find not one Browning but three different layers of his personality, three different Brownings. The singer of youthful heart, the singer of philosophy, and the singer of human psyche. He has explored in his vast oeuvre of poetry, he explored the themes of love, death, morality, and the human condition. Known for his innovative use of language, form, and structure, he has created different literary trajectories that have a very complex structure and offer many versions of one object. Browning was influenced by Shakespeare, Shelley, and Keats. If you look at his work, not many works are there. Some of his notable works include Sordello. I like these works very much, and when you will read them, you will find that they are full of a freshness, a new direction of thought. Sordello, 1840, Dramatis Persona, very significant work. You will find a lot of many poems in this. Dramatis Persona, 1864, The Ring and the Book, and this was published. This was written during 1868 to 1869. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, significant work. Many of us have studied this in schools also. In 1842, My Last Duchess, very significant poem. You have studied earlier during your graduation time, very significant voice. When we look at Robert Browning as a Victorian poet, we find that Browning is known for his innovative use of dramatic monologue. His psychological insight explores the human psyche. Browning is also known for historical and literary allusions. He finds some traces from historical and literary references and blends them very fine into his poetry, and that adds depth and complexity to his work. Browning also has keen interest in the issues of morality and ethics. Many of his poems grapple with moral and ethical questions, encouraging readers to engage with complex issues. Browning, as far as style is concerned, was a master of language and form, and he has been experimenting with rhythm, meter, and syntax to create unique and expressive poetic voices. Due to his keen interest in human condition, his poetry often focuses on the human condition exploring themes such as love, death, and the search for meaning. You can see some of his famous poems include My Last Duchess, The Bishop Orders His Tomb, and The Pied Piper of Hamelin. They offer different perspectives to look at. Browning has affected a large number of poets. His innovative style and techniques influenced many later poets, including T.S. Eliot and Ezra Pound. Overall, his poetry reflects the social, cultural, and intellectual currents of the Victorian era. Browning, you see, it is a matter of debate on the issue of the reception of his poetry. Browning's poetry was not always widely appreciated during his lifetime, but his reputation grew significantly in the 20th century. I would advise you to read Browning's poem from the modern and postmodern perspectives. You can explore different trajectories of psychological self. You can see the psyche of human self in a very unique and colorful way in the poems of Browning. When we look at the poem Prospice by Robert Browning, this is prescribed for us in our course. The poem Prospice by Robert Browning, the title is Prospice, and this is from Latin language. It means look forth or look forward. Prospice is written in 1861 during the, you can see that it was a Victorian time, 1861. Prospice is a dramatic monologue spoken by a dying man. It is full of, you'll see so many images in this poem. You can make a list of images. Very significant observation. When you look at Prospice, it offers before us the themes of mortality, faith, and the afterlife. The speaker of the poem is calm, reflective, and is accepting death. It is full of image, as I told you, and full of symbolism, including references to nature and Christianity. Tone is quite contemplative, serene, and hopeful, and the poetic form of the poem is it is written in blank verse, unrhymed iambic pentameter. If we look at the references, the context of the poem may reflect Browning's own experiences with grief and loss. Prospice is often seen as a representative poem of Victorian values and attitude towards death and the afterlife. If you read the poem, very small poem, you will see that the very significant lines are there. For the crowning of life, the savior of all. You can see it is emphasis on redemption. You will see the phrase, I have seen the pulpit and the desk, reference to a speaker's life and work. And you see the acceptance of mortality. And now the silence and the end. You will see reiteration of redemption in the lines and the crowning of life, the savior of all. We can further explored the poem Prospice from different angles. Once you have read the poem, you have read the text of the poem, try to understand the images, try to understand different symbols, try to understand different context, and then you will see that there are many issues that pop up, that come up for discussion, further discussion of Prospice. How does the speaker's attitude toward death and the afterlife reflect Victorian values and belief? What role does imagery and symbolism play in conveying the speaker's emotions and ideas? Try to read the poem from these perspectives. Also read how does the poem's use of dramatic monologue contribute to its emotional impact and thematic exploration. What is the significance of speakers' reflection on their life and work in the poem? Further, you can see how does the poem engage with Christian themes and ideas, and what implications does this have for the speaker's perspective on mortality. So, the poem is full of meaning. The poem is full of optimism. The poem is offering us a significant picture of that aspect of Victorian era which is called optimism. Thank you.